So this video is an introduction to myself, a bit about my background, and yeah, I'll start with my interest in holistic therapies. I absolutely have explored loads of different therapies over the years. Um, I really have benefited from meditation, in particular Vipassana meditation, which I started 5 years ago. And before that, I suppose my main things were journaling, and I've trained as a yoga teacher in India, and I taught yoga part time for 2 years to adults, and then I trained as a kids yoga teacher, and I taught that for a year or a year and a half prior to lockdown. And I have done a massage course. I've gone to different dance, embodiment dance, conscious dance kind of practices. I have enjoyed sound healing. I loved the Artist's Way book. I found a lot of benefit from that. I get biokinesiology done, and more recently I've become interested in trauma in the body and somatic kind of work, and I'm getting biodynamic craniosacral therapy, and exploring reading a lot of books around that as well. So pretty sure there's more, but non-violent communication, and I've done a Reiki course. I've done a lot of things, and absolutely love hearing about other therapies that I haven't heard of before. It's quite amazing what's out there and the different ways that we can heal and help ourselves. Next is my background with coaching. I did my life coaching course, life and executive coaching course with Positive Success Group in Marino Institute of Education in Dublin. A great course. So much personal development within it, and I've really been coached so much this past few years whilst I've been coaching, and I really believe in the power of it. It's been very beneficial to me in my growth in self-awareness and in my ability to process things and move through things and evolve myself, really. Coaching background. And my next thing is my teaching background. So I was a primary school teacher for 7 years in Athlone around County Roscommon, and I was mainly with junior infants, which I absolutely loved. It was very fun and very, very wholesome, I suppose, in a way, like very creative, and just you have to be very present when you're teaching, and very in tune with the class and with the energy, and just absolutely loved it. Then I started to become interested in kind of alternative education models. I'm particularly interested in the Sudbury schools, which I have a playlist on my website about. It's like self-directed learning, and it sees the child, instead of trying to put information into them, you're holding space and facilitating an environment which is conducive to them directing their learning towards what they're interested in. So it's more feels more aligned to me because it's an inside out approach. They're coming from the inside towards and bringing that into the world. So that's education and teaching. And then business background is that I studied international business and languages, French and German, at college in DCU in Dublin, and I worked then as an marketing executive for Enterprise Ireland in Stockholm for a year and a half, and then I obviously went into teaching, and then came back towards business, and I have set up my business as it is right now, which has taken a few different shapes along the way. And I suppose something that has been really beneficial to me is that I've found I was, as everyone is at when they start their business, trying to figure out how to do this, and what I came across was a lot of very poor business practices, and I've listed them there on the website, just around putting and I've attended courses, and what was taught at them often just did not sit right with me. It just didn't feel human in many ways, or okay at all. And the things that lots of people teach are around, they're not phrased as such, but they are kind of a manipulation or pressure, or creating scarcity, or kind of inviting people for something and then changing the tone of it to be like a sales pitch in some way, or kind of, yeah, there's lots of poor practices. So I suppose that was really disheartening, and the reason I share this is because thankfully I have come across some amazing mentors, and that there is a more authentic, more genuine, more human way of doing business, although these people are hard to find. So yeah, that's my approach now that I've to conduct myself and teach ways that are very much about trusting the person who is the potential customer or client, that they are whole and resourceful, capable of making the decision that's right for them without putting pressure in any way, and also that they that it's also that it is, the foundations of business most genuinely are just find out what people need help with, offer that and be really good at it, and you will have a solid business from there. Once you kind of do the foundational work, a lot of the surface level noise and dodgy gimmick type things aren't needed. So thankfully I've that's been the philosophy that I've adopted in my business and in what I share as well. So yeah, that's my business background. And then my own journey, I suppose, as I said, I was teaching, and then I ended up here having my business, and working with holistic practitioners. For me, it was that I felt finished with teaching as such. Teaching in school, some things weren't sitting right with me, and I had this just strong inner knowing that I needed to do what had been kind of in the back of my mind for many years. And if anyone is watching this and is going through that transition phase where you're, one part of your life is kind of dropping away and the other part has yet to form, that kind of middle transition period, I know it well. And if it's of any benefit, I mean, it's really worth, like, what has worked for me has just been really trusting in that my guidance will never lead me wrong. And while I couldn't see exactly how it would work out, it did work out. So yeah, it's like, in a child and then an adult, and then you're in that teenager phase when you're kind of neither one nor the other. So yeah, I just that period for me of not knowing brought me to leaving my job as a teacher, which I was permanent, and literally heading off into the unknown. I went to Bali and Australia and New Zealand, to meditation centres. I was serving and sitting at those, which volunteering and working or volunteering kind of at a yoga retreat centre as well, and just really meeting a lot of people who were living life on their own terms, and doing very different things. And it inspired me and kind of gave me courage that to kind of go for it and just keep trusting that even though I don't know what's coming, it will emerge. And and you know it did, and it continues to do so. I mean, yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. I think at this moment I will finish up the video now, and thanks for watching and being on my website.